up, everyone, and welcome to the warm-up, a daily show where we're serving you, of course, tennis updates, fan experience, and just the right of New York energy you want to wake up with. I am Allie Love, and I am literally the co-host of a new guy with the mustache, rocking it. Nick McCarville, what you got going on? New look?
Okay, Allie Love, I mustache you. Do you like the mustache?
Really, with the dad jokes? We open the warm-up with the dad jokes. All right, fans, get comfy in your seats. It's going to be a bumpy ride today.
I mean, listen, I'm wearing my badge of tennis geek with pride, and today the mustache is adding it to that. Let's go right into the tennis, Allie Love, because yesterday easily could have been 2010. You had Venus, Serena, Andy Murray, Victoria Azarenka, Kim Clijsters all in action. And call it the Murray miracle, Allie. Back from a near career-ending hip injury, the 2012 champ pulled a Houdini act, coming from 2 sets to love down, saving a match point, and making a believer out of anyone. I hope your nails are okay, by the way. He roars back to beat Yoshi Nishioka in an instant classic, 4-6, 4-6, 7-6, 7-6, 6-4. That scoreline is crazy. Sir Andy with the victory. And yes, indeed, he is still alive in the tournament. He said after that the ice bath in the locker room, it's not really being used because of the safety protocols. He said he needed it. This was an emergency. And what a victory for him.
Yeah, I saw him shuffling off the court, and I pretty much gave him a standing ovation. Those of you that are enjoying the U.S. Open at home like me, I was on my feet clapping because it was so deserved. Now, speaking of deserving, Nick, we're talking about, you mentioned Kenin yesterday cruising, and it just so happened it's continuing. Now, the 21-year-old American, Sofia Kenin, has been incredible start of the season, and especially in the U.S. Open. After a fierce first-round win yesterday over Belgian veteran Janina Wickmaya, 6-2, 6-2 in Louis Armstrong. And I have to say, there's no reason to doubt Kenin right now as she really climbs the ladder. You know, we talk about our proverbial ladder. To note, Angelique Kerber of Germany was the last woman to win both Australian Open and the U.S. Open in the same year. That was 2016. Could Kenin be next?
I love that, Allie Love, with the stats there. And Sofia Kenin looking so good yesterday. There were other players who were in that cruise control mode, like Daniil Medvedev, Dominic Thiem, Garbiñe Muguruza. Maddie Keys looked really good. Grigor Dimitrov, Matteo Berrettini, Sloane Stephens. I mean, there was so much good tennis. But for 2 sets, it looked like Kim Clijsters, 37 years young, a mother of 3, was playing her first major since Call Me Maybe was #1 on the charts, and Honey Boo Boo was a reality TV star, Allie. That was 2012,
Nick,
by the way.
No, Call Me Maybe was my favorite. Call Me Maybe was my favorite.
Carly Rae also was a Arthur Ashe Kids Day superstar back in 2012. But listen, Kim played such great tennis. In all seriousness, big hitting, age-defying kind of tennis. Her pace was there, her power was there. She just couldn't get over the finish line. 2 close sets against Ekaterina Alexandrova, but it's the Russian who comes through in 3 sets. Now, Kim, not all heroes wear capes, but you do, Kim Clijsters, and welcome back to tennis.
Absolutely. Big shout outs to our moms. I have to say, moms are not just a trend, they are a lifestyle. And so looking at Kim Clijsters take the court, it was truly inspiring, motivating. So again, shout outs to our moms that are making their way back into their professions. Speaking of inspiration, let's get into some inspirational rallies with Allie's Rallies. We have 3 picks, and I want you to lean into this athleticism. Keep your eye on the balls, folks. Here we go. The first one we have McDonald and Ruud. Now, McDonald serves. Now, for most of the play, he's placing the ball really nicely around the court, making Ruud move. Here we see a little bit as we come up, of that ball movement. I mean, the athleticism is incredible. He comes up and he closes the shot. We saw through the legs, and of course, Ruud wins the point, and most importantly, he wins the match in 5 sets.
Amazing, a tweener from Casper Ruud, and this was a great comeback win for him over Mackie McDonald, the American. How about that power? I mean, tweener special, Allie. That was sick.
All right, let's get into the ladies. We have Bonaventure and Zhang Shui. Now, these two are going head to head. Zhang serves, and what's really nice is that Bonaventure isn't afraid to move here. She is literally going for it. We talk about athleticism. She is showing up. Bonaventure eventually... Bonaventure eventually closes out for the point and the match in 3 sets.
These are the kind of matches, Allie, I love these highlight clips. There is so much great tennis around the grounds in the first few days of the U.S. Open. Nice point there from Bonaventure.
Now, Bonaventure, you saw close it out. and she was the one receiving the point. I don't know if you're noticing a pattern, but here's rally 3. We have Klein here. He's going to serve it, and he puts Nagao on the move. It is quite impeccable to see this young player, again, athleticism, leaning into flexibility, that endurance, and then he slides in and he dominates and closes out. He also, Nagao, wins the match in 4. Now, fun fact, Nick, it's really important to note, first Indian in 7 years to enter the second round of the Open. How impeccable.
So awesome. Last year, Sumit Nagal on Stadium Court on Arthur Ashe against Rafael Nadal. He's worked so hard. I follow him on Instagram during the break. He's into the second round. Congrats for him.
Now, Nick, you mentioned following on social. We were following all of your responses yesterday on social. We put out a poll, and it was a fashion poll. Did Serena reign supreme was the question, and I voted for Serena. Nick was pretty flexible. He said never go against Serena, but it looks like we want to highlight that while Serena is making her way on this list, Naomi Osaka is pretty visible in the fashion world.
I mean, Naomi Osaka has become a cover model, a tennis champion. She's speaking out. I love the mask with Breonna Taylor's name, but she looks so confident on court and obviously dressing to win too.
Now, what's interesting, I have to say, Nick, I didn't expect this. I mean, I love Djokovic. He's an incredible player, but for him to take #1 over Milo Raonic, when you talked about the headbed donning Milos Raonic, like that was incredible. I'm pretty shocked at this one on the men's side.
I don't want to doubt the Nole fam that's out there. We shout out to all the different fan groups in tennis. I'm going to guess they had something to do with this. Nole always goes with the classic look, right? And once again, maybe classic, sometimes it's a little safe, but it takes him to the top.
Well, as we continue this social check, taking it to the top. Yesterday, we talked about puppy love, and I said more puppy love. Well, speaking of how fans are rallying, the kitty fans decided to show up. As you can see, teams on the screen, and this kitty is totally into the U.S. Open. I love it. I would say more kitties, more pups. Keep it coming. Speaking of screens, you can never have too many screens in the US Open. This one, I have to say, this is how I watch tennis from my home. On every device, it's consumed by tennis.
I mean, come on, Claire, 3 devices. Let's see, 4, 5, 6. Let's go. Come on.
Nick has a good challenge there. Okay, so you and I, Nick, offlined about this. Yesterday this happened, and we were texting each other, and it said, wait a minute.
How does Rebel Wilson know Mukova?
And so I did a little bit of social digging, and what happened is that I found out that their actual friendship started at the US Open 2 years ago. Now, speaking of social media that we are bringing up in this social check, Rebel Wilson slid into the DMs of Twitter, and that's how they became friends, went out to dinner right here in New York City, pre, of course, pandemic, and now she's, of course, sending her virtual love.
I loved this moment courtside with Rebel Wilson, just hanging out with Karolina Mukova, and yeah, BFFs virtually and in real life.
Now, what better way to close off our social check than with a cheers? We all are missing it, but these kind folks have made their own honeydeuces, and they're doing a honeydeuce toast to this year's US Open. Now, you guys keep this virtual love coming. We want to see this. And I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty jealous of the honeydeuces.
I'm going to guess they got one of those US Open home kits that you can get on the website or the app. And you guys, I don't have one right now, but cheers.
All right, fans, it's time to switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk big stories. Now, this one, Nick, is pretty heart-wrenching in the sense of finding the smile of something that had us all feeling a bit down around tennis yesterday.
Yeah, totally. Hashtag 2020, Ali. Carla Suarez Navarro announcing she has Hodgkin lymphoma. She is a 5-time US Open quarterfinalist, one of the fan favorites, the nicest person you'll meet in tennis. She's a world #6. And she was intending, Ali, for this to be her swan song, her final season on tour. But she's got a new battle on her hands. And this was so cool. You pointed this out. Garbiñe Muguruza wins yesterday. They were doubles partners. They're really good friends. She dedicates her win to Carla. And Carla, vamos, you got this. We're all behind you. And if we stay on the US Open match court with Garbiñe, Serena Williams, big win yesterday, 102. 102 US Open match wins, which is mind-boggling, Ali. That win over Christian, it's actually a new record. Chrissy Everett had 101 US Open wins, and Serena Williams now holds that record. Serena said after the match, I feel like every time I walk on court, I'm breaking a record. Yes, Serena, that is true. And you are, by the way, tied with Chris Everett at 6 US Open trophies. She's trying to get that 7th, and of course, get that all-time record of 24 majors.
Now, speaking of records, we have to acknowledge Venus Williams. Venus Williams may have not won the match to move on in the U.S. Open against Karolina Muchova. She was upset in 2 sets. However, I mean, we're talking about appearing in a tournament, the U.S. Open, for the 22nd time. It is appeared that while Venus may have lost, she still may have won. She broke the women's record in the Open era. She has been tied with Martina Navratilova previous to that, coming on to the U.S. Open 21-0. So having this upset by the 20 seed in just the 2 sets, while it was an upset for many of us fans, as you all know, we love seeing Venus, 40 years old, come out there and play her artist. It is still great to see her walk off the court and still break those records. Williams sisters breaking records every time they step on the court. The question is, Nick, what is next?
I mean, honestly, anything. Venus Williams has a new coach. She's been working on her serve. There is no stopping her. She said she's going to get ready for the French Open now. I mentioned the cape with Kim Clijsters. Venus Williams had a Wonder Woman mask on when she walked on and off the court. These are real life heroes, and I don't think there's any stopping Venus Williams. The first time, as you mentioned, in those 22 appearances that she's lost in the first round at the US Open, but Venus is always, always a champion to us.
And now, speaking of never stopping, it is time to move into Nick's picks. These are the matches that we want to keep our eye on. Now, Nick's already dancing. He's really excited. This is when he puts on his tennis geek glasses. And now, as you recognize, I'm coming back to that mustache, bro. The mustache, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the really cool look. Who are your mixed picks? Nick's picks you got. What you got?
What's up, Allie Love? It is my day 3 stash. I am ready for some tennis. Of course, round 2 starts. We are finished with the first round of the US Open, you guys. We actually have more women's seeds into the second round than ever before, 29 of 32. But this one bubbles to the top for me, Allie. Naomi Osaka against Camila Giorgi. I'm scared for the tennis balls in this match because they both hit the ball so hard. And that's the danger of Camila Giorgi, is that if she's on, she can beat anyone in the world. Naomi Osaka did win their only previous meeting in Tokyo a couple years ago. We're also going to check in to see how that left hamstring is doing. Also in action today is Sasha Zverev. And Ali, I know you're a big fan of the Zverev brothers. We saw that on-screen, on-court moment with them just the other day. This is a big challenge for Zverev. It's Brandon Nakashima. He's a San Diego native. He's 19 years young. He gets his first ever US Open win in the first round in straight sets. A lot of people talking about Nakashima. He's worked a bit with Pat Cash, who is a former Grand Slam champ. He hit with Novak Djokovic last week in a practice session at the Cincinnati tournament. I think that might give him just that swag, maybe a little bit of the stash swag to take on Sasha Zverev today.
Stash swag. Is that a new Nickism I'm loving? Proverbial ladders. Look over there, stash swag. Now, Nick, you've got your 2 picks. I'm going to come in. And again, my job here is just to shock you. I'm going with Cece Bellis and Jennifer Brady, All-Americans, going head-to-head today. The reason is Jennifer Brady is arguably playing some of the best tennis of all the Americans on the tournament. She won in Kentucky, and of course, her victory over Anna Blinkova. Cece Bellis, on the other hand, has shocked us in 2014, getting past the second round at just 15 years old. She's also looking sharp this U.S. Open after an injury, and used something you pointed out, which makes a strong case to say that she was able to upset and create an upset in round 1 over 3 games. And so I think all of these picks are going to be competitive and surprising. And speaking of surprising, Nick, since you've surprised us with your mustache look today, I'm going to surprise you with a new segment called Does Nick Know? Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm so nervous for this.
Here we go.
Are you? It's tennis. You got this, bro. Okay, so in Does Nick Know, I'm going to ask you one question, and I want you to give me in order of most. If you have more information, of course, please christen us with more information. The question is, what country has won the most U.S. Open singles titles?
I mean, we're in the United States. This is the US Open. I'm thinking back to all time when this was the US Championships before it was the Open era Grand Slam event starting in 1968. I'm going to go with the good old USA.
Okay, that one. Okay, I know many of the fans that are watching were like, duh, Allie, you gave them that one. Don't worry, I came prepared, everyone who's watching. I'm truly going to test Nick. Nick, how about number 2? Who comes in second?
Ooh, second place. Well, we've had great tennis players from all over the world, right? Czech Republic, France, Spain, Russia. But if we're looking historically, I think that Australia is probably number 2 because they've had so many great champions from over the years.
Oh, Nick, I'm trying to get you. Okay, I still have something up my sleeve. So just for context, US is number 1, 94 women's wins, and 85 for the men's. Australia is number 2 with 24 titles, 6 wins, 6 women, and 18 men. What about number 3? Now, Nick, if you get this bonus, extra credit, we know the type of kid you were in school.
Wow.
You were that kid.
I was that kid with the third button just done. Gosh, third, okay, I reasoned pretty well. You know, Great Britain the UK has had a lot of great tennis champions. France, Spain, the US Open. I am going to go with France. Bonjour, my friends from Paris.
Oh, Nick, you didn't get this one. I know, and not that we're all rooting against you, but you're always on a roll. It's good to see that you're human. It's good to see that you are human. So actually,
Okay,
this was a trick
third?
question. This was a trick question. So in the number 3rd spot, it's a 3-way tie. So 7 US Open single titles goes to Great Britain, Germany, and Switzerland. So again, that was just a little trick up my sleeve. I'm
Nice.
happy that that's the case. Now that Nick has taken us around the world with all of his info around US Open titles, we want to know, and today's social question is, where in the world are you watching from?
I love this, Ellie. I think you and I are both getting messages from people all over the world. Where are you watching? Why are you watching? How are you watching? How many screens are you using? This is so fun. The US Open always brings us together, more so even in 2020. And I can't wait to find out, you guys, where the heck are you watching the US Open this year?
Make sure you include us in this conversation. Like Nick mentioned, how, where, and of course, what you're doing while you're watching. Use the tag US Open, hashtag US Open, and tag @US Open on all of your social platforms. We will be watching, we will be connecting, and we will continue to do so because we're bringing you New York energy, tennis, updates, and of course, a whole lot of fun. Nick McCarville, Allie Love here. We're so excited to continue waking up with you with the warm-up. And now it's time because the games are afoot.